It's a statutory holiday, but in certain provinces they celebrate for different reasons. I think Simcoe is the Ontario reason, so Quebec is the New reason, and Alberta they just take holidays because they love to take holidays because every 2 weeks they get a day off in Alberta, right? Well, we're even with that now. We have family day. In February we got family day. That's right. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about Canadian holidays, or the one we're currently observing. Dave, welcome to the show. It's been a long time since you've been on here.
It has, but you know what? It is the golden episode. The golden, so I need to be here to celebrate the golden episode.
It's awesome. It's exciting. Is it 50th diamond anniversary?
No, 50 is gold, 75 is
gold. Oh, okay.
If you make it your diamond anniversary, you've done pretty well.
Yeah. I want to gold. Yeah. I want to gold. I was worried there that I had to bring diamonds.
Gold in form of those gold-colored staples.
Showers are golden presents, Jason. Yeah. Well, just my presents is gold.
No, thank you.
You want a gold shower?
All right. Moving on. So, Dave, one of the reasons you're here, not because it's our golden shower episode, is that
we're not going to title this, are we?
No, we're not. I don't think we are. Hopefully something better will come up in the next one.
Because you called it the golden shower episode. So like Samuel Jackson said, I was going to do the episode until you told me it was going to be the golden shower episode. And I figured I have to play.
Right, and you got to be here. So Dave, talk about Stranger. The first issue is out, and we want to get an update from you on what's going on, where you're going to be, and how's it going.
So far so good. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from people. I'm going to be at Fan Expo August 25th to 28th at the end of the month. You boys both have your own issues now. Yes. I've printed out a few issues specifically for people who come to the booth and want to buy some and help me pay for the booth by buying such things. Like, yeah, I heard Unicorn 2 shirts and the comics and the other goodies that we have there. And yeah, getting a lot of feedback on the first issue. The second issue, I think, as of today actually, just a few hours ago, I just finished page 27.
Wow,
so it's coming along.
That's awesome.
It's the second issue.
I'm looking at my issue number 1 right now, and I was when you gave it to me a couple weeks ago, I was just blown away by how awesome the printed version of this looks.
They did a really, really good job. That's Zone Printing in Toronto printed it up. That's XONE printing. And honestly, out of 5 different places I looked at, they were the most cost effective, and they were the only ones to actually offer me a free sample.
Well, that's awesome. We should. I'm glad we give them a shout out on the show. Yeah. We need to printing, and that sounds like a place to go. There's a giant talking head on the back cover.
How can
we not love that? That's
how could there not be? You guys have been great supporters from day one. So why wouldn't there be a talking head on the back?
Awesome. Totally. So you're going to be at Fan Expo later this month, and you said you're just going to be sitting there hoping people come by.
Hoping people don't throw eggs in the air, laugh at me, or
well, throwing eggs at you would be really, really out of line. Laughing is one thing.
Some shows that chickens are going to be really nervous.
Well, if anyone throws eggs, I say you punch in the face.
I will scramble eggs
out of them.
I will straight the egg off my face and into a pan and make it on and eat it.
Take it for
the protein.
So you should probably tell people where to go if they want to check it out.
If you do want to check it out, you can go to iHeartUnicorns2, that's TOO.com, and I try to update a week, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on how busy life gets for me. But I try to stick with at least 1 page a week. So
yes, that's great. I have to admit I haven't gone to see much of issue number 2 yet. But I gotta go check it out.
Issue number 2 takes a different slants. One of the guys who follows me was wondering what it had to do with issue number 1, and it might not seem obvious right away because it's a little bit different. But the 2 issues sort of run concurrently, and by the end of it, will all come together.
That's part of your concept too, right? Like each issue is going to be not standalone, but have its own kind of point and theme, feeling, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, once we get past issue 2, once we go into issue 3, then there'll probably be a larger story arc. Right. That'll go over a few issues, but I mean, for now, it's going exactly where it needs to be, and it's introducing all the right characters it needs to get to issue number 3.
Well,
issue number 3 makes sense.
That is awesome. I am super excited that it's going really well. I'm going to come down to Fan Expo and wear my shirt or something like that.
I will try to do so as well.
Just walk around.
And walk around Fan Expo is always a good time. So if anybody gets to come down, come check it out, say hello, and I don't know what
and buy a comic poster shirt. Buy stuff. You're in something called Artist Alley, right?
Yes, Artist Alley.
That's
special a bunch of really talented people, and then the people who pretend to be talented. And so I'm the pretender. It's up to everybody to make their own decisions on who's who. That's right. Yes. I'm feel goofy there. I'm trying not to be goofy, and I'm trying to be cool guys, but I'm trying to be so cool. I have to be really good. So anyhow, it's considered me. You can be so goofy that you be cool too. It's possible. We're both ways. That never happened though. I'm very curious by nature. Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to call right now that you're not going to be the goofiest guy there. Okay. There you go. We'll see what actually happens. Anyways, congratulations on the first issue and everything that you're going to do, and I have a good feeling about this whole thing. Thank you. All right, everybody. We got a huge show coming up for you. We've got a actor spotlight on John Bernthal, who plays Shane. Before that, we've got a huge week of Walking Dead news. A heap of news. Oh my God, so much. Golden shower news.
That's right. That's fine. If you can work in every few minutes, I'm okay with that. It doesn't quite work. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. It was Comic-Con last weekend. That's why there's so much news. The first thing we're going to do is this.
Fear, confusion, all those things. I felt like I'd been ripped out alive, put somewhere else. For a lot of times, try to say something I might not wake up from. One thing I know with certainty, we're moving on. The land is done. Later. She's gonna quietly slip away. First things I get. First things best flowers. If I hadn't done my dad, I chose to stay. I chose suicide. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh, Carrot, stand up. The spotlight's on you. What do you do? What's next? The group is split. Got my first. People are gonna start panic. Waste of time with hoping and praying. Right? Let's go, you and me. Let's go before we get back. It's not gonna end here like this. Don't kill. Maybe we should go back. This is a long, hard journey. Maybe harder than I can imagine. I don't know what our chances are. Slim, I guess. Yeah, it's all got some chances now. Oh, Christ. Get over the noise. I guess I'm losing hope. But like I said, it's all got some chances now. And some chances better than none.
That was the 4.5 kind of long admittedly trailer from Comic-Con for Season 2. And I don't know about you guys, but holy Jesus, man, that was amazing. Christ. Like, so good. That blew me away the first time I saw it, and David Lee.
No, that's true. Okay. Two things that stood out for me.
Yeah, let us know.
One, music.
Music was awesome.
Yeah, music was spectacular. The one thing I excited about 20 days later was when we first left the hospital, how the music sort of crescendoed into this loud orchestral clang of noise. I thought the trailer did sort of a similar thing. It did really well. The other thing was I was never really happy with John Bernthal as Shane, but as the trailer opened, I looked at John Bernthal and I saw Shane.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What about the part later on where he's talking about leaving and just taking off? I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of tension, but I feel like that works really well, probably.
Yes. I concur.
Yeah, right.
Works well also.
All right, so Jason, give us your initial thoughts on this trailer.
Well, I agree with Dave in that music was something that struck me as fantastic for the whole trailer, for the whole 4.5 minutes. And is there music?
He is, but I don't think there was a lot of Graham Curry in there. Really? I don't think so. I think maybe the middle part, maybe the beginning, but towards the end it was definitely a contemporary song, but not part of the score that he's coming up with. But maybe, well, yeah, for sure. And they used songs in Season 1 too, for sure, and to compliment Graham Curry's score. You're right, amazing music. And I really like the leading up to Herschel's farm, with Rick running with Carl just running through the woods, he's lifeless and something's happening, he's trying to get the farm, and Herschel's there looking out going, what the hell is that? Yeah, well, great quick shots of Maggie and Herschel there. It was nice to see them there for sure. So yeah, I mean that's Carl he's carrying, right? Yeah, clearly Carl. Well, I would assume so. Well, there are other things, but it didn't look like one of those. No, that's the thing. I don't think it was. So this got me thinking, like, what could happen? Do you think maybe they're going to kill off Carl instead of Shane? Well, no, I mean Carl gets that's how they ended Herschel's farm in the comic. Oh, right. right. Oh, Jesus, I forgot that. Yeah, because he's shot by the farmhand of the woods.
That's right. And Point says so you got to take him to the farm. Herschel's there. He's a vet in the TV show anyway. Right. So yeah, that's what happens. So Carl almost dies.
Okay, my question stands. I wonder if they kill Carl instead of Shane. No way. No, they don't kill children.
No, not yet.
Maybe someday. Not yet. Yeah.
No, I think I'll let Sophia and Carl's relationship flourish a little bit more.
Yeah, Carl for a while longer.
Yeah, for sure. So Shane is the only one who's talking about leaving. I mean, we have T-Dog talking about going, and Shane, I think, is trying to convince Andrea to go with him because I guess she doesn't really have anybody anymore. Obviously, I don't think our group is going to split up here, but what do you guys think about this, potential storyline?
I think T-Dog is suggesting that he and Dale go after Shane and Andrea.
Oh, so you think maybe Shane's gone? You think he goes but then comes back?
Oh, I'm sure Shane goes.
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
So then what about the shot right off the top where he's running from zombies and falls down and almost on top of him and he's firing shotgun? I wonder if that's post leaving the group and he kind of realizes this was a bad idea.
Well, maybe that's how season 2 opens.
Maybe.
And then you go opening shot. So you opening shot trailer.
It would. It very well could have that as a season 2 opening. Everyone said that it's opening 5 seconds before the end of the last.
Well, they can do flashbacks. Right, so.
Well, they totally could. So I think it's an interesting idea here that our group might sort of not be as sort of together as we think they are, and
in spots.
In spots. Well, I don't think they're going to break all together. It's clear that they won't because they never get up the farm. Although it's not clear from the trailer exactly who's there when they get to the farm, so we really don't know.
We don't know if Rick and Carl will make it to the farm because they don't want to show that.
That's right. He's running
on to the farm, but he don't have his mind there.
Good deal. There you go. Rick loses his arm, not just his hand. That's right. Yeah. So let's talk about the highway traffic jam scene, which until now I didn't really have much idea of what was going to happen there. I thought it could have been anything from they're just stuck there and they can't get through and they're wondering what to do. Maybe they have to abandon the RV. I don't know. Anything from that to like a full on zombie attack, and it seems like that's what we're going to get. And it looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, never heard there.
Total hurt, and like just them hiding under the cars and being completely scared. Andrea's obviously in the RV, and we see zombies coming in the RV. So
that's gonna be good. That's gonna be the premiere.
That's gonna be the first action set piece. I think so. Oh,
that was so intense.
It was so intense, and everyone looked genuinely terrified. Even the kids.
I forgot all about the fact that there were those cars eating sandwiches.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at all until just now.
That's right. Now that I think about it, how many cars on the street right now could you fit under?
Well, me or the senior person?
That's right.
Well, no, because it seems like when they call the cars, there's plenty of room under there.
Yeah, that's true. I get under a car if I had to.
I don't know. Cars are loaded around these days. Well, some cars a lot of clearance.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know.
There's room under a car to eat sandwich. That's real quick.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. Okay. If you get the lunch, you can go into one car and eat sandwich. But yeah, I thought everyone looked absolutely terrified, like really just totally intense. And I also like how Rick wasn't under the same car as his family. Carl was somewhere else. I think by himself under a car. It looked like Lori was with Carol, Sophia's mom, but Sophia was somewhere else. And
Sophia was with Carl.
I don't think so. It looked like they were in the cars by themselves, the kids, which just adds to it.
Okay.
And it does look like Sophia gets attacked. She has to get out and run. Carol is just freaking out. Oh my god, amazing. Yeah, absolutely love it.
That's going to be a very excellent episode.
Yeah, totally. So then we got a bunch of quicker shots of things like going through the forest, run through an overgrown graveyard, which I thought was probably a bad idea.
With zombies around, yeah, generally.
Yeah. And then
it's the place. There we go.
That's true. They're already up and left. Why are they hanging around there? And then it looks like at a certain point they're back at the Vatos compound.
That could just be a brick wall somewhere.
I also thought that. I thought that looked remarkably like the Vatos camp compound. Vatos compound.
Whatever. But why do they go back there unless they're looking for help or something like that? I get the feeling they've moved on from there, so I don't think they're going back.
I think it's going to be somewhere else. Yeah. It kind of looks like an enclosed brick space.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is that this graveyard, it does look kind of dilapidated, so maybe, and they go to church at one point too, so maybe there's like a rundown church and there's some ruins there from old buildings or something.
Old schoolhouse.
Old schoolhouse, exactly. That might be where they end up. I don't know. It reminded me of the Vatos compound. Maybe it's being filmed in the same location, maybe repeating locations. But it also looks like Rick kind of loses his cool there because they're kind of quiet. And at one point he says, screw the noise, he fires a gun, Shane yells at him. I thought that was a good looking scene. I like a lot too.
So there's some tension between these two, I think.
I think there might be, so that's cool. Anything else about this trailer you guys want to bring up? I think it was fantastic and it made me super excited.
I really want to nick up this trailer. I want to neck with it all night long.
Neck
with it. I'm really trying to hit you on his neck.
People don't use that term anymore. You know that, right?
I'm old. I can say whatever I want.
Yes, you can. And I agree with that. I love this trailer.
Yes, me too.
I want more than the season 1 trailer.
I agree with that.
Yeah, me too, but it's different coming at it from a different perspective. Like, in season 1 trailer, you don't know anything about it. You don't know what you're in for. Now we do have an idea, and we all have thoughts in our head of where this is going to go, what it's going to be. This just was, it was almost better than anything I could have imagined. You know what I'm saying?
I keep forgetting it's 4.5 minutes long.
Yeah, really good.
It's quite long.
So it's awesome. If you want to check out that trailer, it's over at Walking Dead blog on AMC TV, and we'll of course have a link in show notes on talkingdeadpodcast.com. It's amazing. Let us know what you think. Send email talkingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. So it premiered at Comic-Con,
San Diego Comic-Con.
and
Diego.
Yep, there was some other stuff announced at the panel. Although the panel itself, I watched the whole thing. It was not that interesting, and by that I mean it was all the primary actors and producers and stuff up on stage, kind of just saying the same things that they always say. How great it is to work with everyone, how this is the best project they've ever had. I mean, all the things you expect them to say. Which I'm fine with. They got sales things. It's great. It's just there wasn't a lot new.
Imagine they actually went there and told the truth. These guys were okay and everything, but it's not the best. It's not the best project I've ever done. I was on Breaking Bad, and that was pretty good. But you guys are all right.
John Berthel says, Steve Young kind of chews a little bit loudly.
Oh, he scrapes his fork on his teeth. They're nuts.
Or only runs his teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody picks his nose too much and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wish Arnie Singleton stopped doing so many push-ups between sets, make me look bad, stuff like that.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Munn just gotta stop masturbating in that RV.
It's making me uncomfortable.
Dude, look at that picture in my head.
So the panel was not like that at all. Unfortunately, it was everyone just having love fest for each other, which is fine. It's totally cool. The one thing they did announce, the most important thing, is that the premiere of season 2 will be on Sunday, October the 16th at 9 p.m., which is an hour earlier than it aired last year.
That's most excellent.
It was very encouraging.
2 weeks ahead of Halloween, and everyone sort of assumed we were going for Halloween. They surprised us with the 16th. I'm very excited about that because it's like 2.5 months away.
Always Monday, right?
I don't know, sure. Sounds
Like
like
serves me correctly.
they also said that I mentioned before that season 2 starts with 5 seconds of overlap from last episode of season 1. So we're gonna see them in those cars right away and basically pick up right there, which is kind of cool too.
Right after we see, what was the woman that stayed behind? What was her name?
Gerald Prescott. Or that was the actress. Character was Jackie.
Jackie. Jackie running the building really quick.
Wait. Oh, we forgot.
That would be so stupid they have to play that music. They would. So that's cool. Frank Darabont said none of this 6 months later BS. They're picking up right where they left off. Cool.
Well, that's pretty typical of specialty channel shows, right? Breaking Bad does that, where they pick up right after. Deadwood did that. A lot of shows do like immediately after.
But there's a danger of Chandler Riggs getting a deeper voice.
Yeah, being told. That's true. That's true.
That's
why I think they're gonna kill him off.
They can't kill him off. They can't
kill
kill all the kids.
I think nobody's safe. We know that, right? And even in the TV show, people maybe some of them are a little more safe than they would be in the comic. But they gotta kill somebody, right? They got it. They need to shock us. And what would do it better than killing a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
He probably isn't shot in the head, dies right away in the forest there. He probably gets shot, doesn't survive because they just don't have the ability or the facility to treat him properly.
I think he's pretty safe for the season, at least. And they'll do the jump in time to accommodate for his aging, or they'll kill him off, or I don't know what they do.
So next season, between 2 and 3, we're gonna have jump in.
He'll do some time travel.
Yeah.
That's what we need, a good zombie epic. Time travel.
Yes, that'd be awesome. So some other things I noticed from the panel, and some of these may be completely trivial, but first of all, Shane has a shaved head. I mean, not Shane, John Bernthal has a shaved head. Does this mean anything?
No.
Does it mean he's shooting something else, or does it mean he has a shaved head on Walking Dead? They're shooting it right now. No, they're currently shooting. I mean, they might have on the first episode, but they're shooting season, right? So they're not anywhere near done.
No, he shakes his head. Why would I keep hanging on the car seat? I shave my head.
Well, yeah, how about in the zombie apocalypse? I would shave my head then too, because you're not showering much probably. So maybe he shaves. So here are my possibilities. He shaves in the show. His character shaves his head. He was shooting something else, and he needed his head shaved. Or I don't know, maybe he wears a wig on Walking Dead. That's how he has hair most of the time.
No, he has hair grown up the last panel.
That's true. He did not have short the last panel. So it may mean nothing. I just noticed it.
I think
Oh, he revealed in fullness of time.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Sarah Wayne Callies and Lori Holden both made comments about how the scripts are so good. Sarah Wayne Callies said these 2 scripts are the best TV scripts I've ever seen. And Lori Holden said every script is gold.
It's a shower of gold.
It is a shower. Now, as I said before, I think it's just a love fest. So I bring that up because one of the main criticisms of season 1 was that the writing. A lot of people said the pilot written by Frank Darabont was fantastic, but kind of went downhill from there. And so, are the 2 ladies doing something on purpose here, saying that they're going to go with the writing next year, or are they just saying shouting praise on each other?
They're all actors. They all have scripts. Even for this panel, they have a script. I'm sure they have
I'm sure
podcasts.
they're coached.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I don't think that's specific to Walking Dead.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So they're backstage and someone says make sure you
These are your talking points. Go there and make sure you bring these up if you ask the question and say, yes, it was awesome.
Got it. So
He's going to your bark and say, what excellent writing.
he's a funny guy, that Robert Kirkman. He makes fun of himself and a lot of people while he's up there. So I could see him saying something like, man, writing is terrible. You know, it's nowhere near as good as some comic book that I know of. So yeah, I don't know. So that was it. It was probably just them, you know, following the script. It doesn't really mean anything. Now Sarah Wayne Callies, or Stephen Young, he was hilarious. He's a funny guy. He was talking about how there are many ticks and you have to do tick checks every day when you get up, every day when you before you go to bed. And his actual quote was, one of the ticks climbed my mountain. Well, I think it means that he had a tick on his wiener and had to do something about it. Which does not sound very fun. Oh, they dig themselves right in there. Probably even worse than zombies, maybe. Yeah, they burrow in, and then if you have to get it all because if you rip it in half, then they're not dead. See? Not fun. I like ticks. I'm glad we live in primarily tick-free society. We got bed bug problems in here, but no ticks. All right, well, that was funny. You get bed bugs, you just burn everything you own, you're done. Yeah, you can't burn your crotch off. Yeah, that'd be bad. It's not gonna work. So that was good. Yeah, watch that. He's pretty funny. He sort of rambles on about ticks for a while, and everyone had to laugh. So Sarah Wayne Callies on Chandler Riggs said, I was brought to tears every day by how professional he is. He is going to... Whoa, you alright?
Sorry.
It's okay. She said, Chandler Riggs is going to blow your mind this year. Okay, so is that good or bad that she was brought to tears every day by his professionalism? She was saying that in a positive way. That's good. Because apparently he's such a fantastic actor. She called him something like a great little man. Right? So just continuing the trend saying how fancy everyone is. Exactly, brought me to tears every day. Every day. I can see I like to go the other way. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe cry. There you go. So just before we leave the panel, we had some people come to the microphone and ask questions, and most of the questions were just on the one step shy of just idiotic. I love you. Yeah, well, someone, the best ever. Someone came up who was a obviously huge Reed fan, and he has a lot of them. I have great respect for those people. However, she got there and asked something like, what was more difficult, your role in The Walking Dead or your role in the Lady Gaga video? And he barely answered the question because it was so stupid. And no offense to you, girl, who asked that, but lame. And how did he answer that? Well, he didn't. He kind of just sort of spoke around it and went on about how great Walking Dead is, and finished it off with, I love Gaga too. So of course, that's what he did. But most of the questions were pretty lame. But one guy got there and asked about Rick's character development in the comic book versus the TV show. And Kirkman answered, and he says, comic book series has been going for so long that I've had time to add little things and do horrible things to Rick Grimes. And the plan is for the TV show to get there. You want to say it's not something we can rush. We have to take our time with it and do it in a way that makes sense. That was a good answer to a good question. You can't just start lopping body parts off and killing off loved ones right off the bat. You have to care about these things first. Yeah, right? Makes sense. Totally. And I do care about them, I think. And it's clear from watching that trailer we just talked about that I do, because I felt genuine panic for those people under the cars. You know, we got genuine panic, but I felt really excited for them. I could breathe. I get out of the house. That's right. I walk around with it. And finally, Kirkman early on was talking about how they were selling the show and pitching it to networks, and he was talking about how they pitched it to other networks and people looked at it and were not interested. But he said eventually Frank came along and never went away, which is interesting because we now know that Frank is going away. So,
well, not necessarily going away.
Not necessarily going away, but let's talk about that. We got a couple more things from Comic-Con. We'll get back to in a minute. So, it was announced earlier this week that Frank Darabont has stepped down as the showrunner, and he will be replaced with somebody. The official statement from AMC is this: The Walking Dead's Glenn Mazzara, writer and executive producer, is expanding his responsibilities to assume the role of showrunner. AMC is grateful to executive producer, writer, and pilot director Frank Darabont, whose contributions to the success of The Walking Dead are innumerable. We continue to discuss his ongoing role with the series, and then they want to say that Kirkman never wants to stay in the role. So, what the hell? Like, what's Frank doing here?
This doesn't surprise me. I never saw him as a permanent part of the show. I saw him as getting on board, kicking this thing off, starting off on the right foot. I never assumed that he was going to be a permanent part of the show. When I heard he was coming back, actually, even after the pilot, we first heard he's directing the pilot. Right? I thought that's great. He's directing the pilot, fantastic. And then, like I say, he never went away. And I thought that was okay. You know, have him on board. That's great. The fact that he's moving on now that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. He's got other things to do. He's Frank Darabont's crying out loud.
So you're not worried at all that the pilot last season was probably the best episode, and he wrote and directed it, and now he's no longer going to be involved in the show on that level.
Not worried. Not worried. I think he can handle it.
I think the show will be just fine without, even if he did just watch his hands completely the entire thing.
Really? Well, Glenn Mazzara certainly has no slouch. He's got lots of cred behind him. Crash, TV series, Life, TV series, Criminal Minds, The Shield. I haven't watched any of those, but they're well-respected shows. And he's been, producing and writing and directing and all that sort of stuff on all of those. He also wrote Wildfire, the fifth episode. Wildfire was the fifth episode of season 1 he wrote, and many people consider that sort of the highlight beside aside from the pilot. So I tend to agree that the show's in good hands too. I just find it a little strange that Frank is suddenly gone, and the timing right after Comic-Con too. It seems like he just. I guess he wanted to go to Comic-Con, the big marketing thing, and not bring it up or anything like that. Just go, and push the show like he should.
No, he's stepping down after season 2, right?
No, he's stepping down now. Right now, yeah. And it's also strange because last podcast, maybe before we talked about an interview where he said he's looking to direct the finale. I wonder if that was just a big joke or something's really changed in that time.
I don't know.
I think that's still be a very sincere desire.
Yeah, he's stepping down showrunner, so come back to direct. That's sort of
yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, we'll have to find out what he's going to be doing. I just thought the timing was a little weird. Scott Meslow at The Atlantic wrote a piece on why The Walking Dead will be okay without Frank. It's a little bit long. I'm going to read an excerpt from here. He says, when I reviewed The Walking Dead series premiere last October, I gave Frank Darabont majority of the credit for the series' stunning pilot episode, Days Gone By. The 2-hour premiere episode was one of the best pilots I've ever seen. From the opening scene of Days Gone By, Darabont took direction and views the post-apocalyptic world with a texture and scope that rivals anything seen in a movie theater. But the rest of the series' first season, while generally entertaining, never came close to the quality of Days Gone By. And just as Darabont deserves much of the credit for the series' initial success, he deserves much of the blame for the series' later failures. Darabont wrote Walking Dead's disappointing second episode, Guts, which featured the series' biggest and most irritating deviation from the original comic books, the introduction of cartoonish villain Merle Dixon. And Darabont co-wrote season finale TS19, another silly departure from the comics, and another misstep for a fledgling television series. He finally says Frank Darabont is a film director. Days Gone By was so effective because Darabont directed like a movie, full length and production designed to match. But Darabont has never worked in television before, and when it came time to turn his 2-hour pilot into an ongoing series, he faltered. The Walking Dead has always needed a television savvy hand to guide it. Fortunately for AMC, newly appointed showrunner Glenn Mazzara is much more qualified than Darabont for the job. I think that sums up really well.
I'm a little picky on the terms like faltered and misstep in a fledgling television series. I'm not sure that I would go as far as to say those things. Yes, the pilot episode was excellent, and he did direct it. It was basically a movie. It was an hour and a half. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think his points are valid. Criticism aside, that's his opinion on those other episodes. I agree that the first one was the best of the 6. Not by as much as maybe this guy Scott Meslow is saying, but yeah, I mean, Frank Darabont has never really worked in TV. I guess he just wasn't quite ready for the style of it and the ongoing commitment needed to run a TV show like that. Right. So I think his points are well founded, and after reading that, I felt a lot better about Frank stepping down, especially having Glenn Mazzara step in. So I'm okay with it. All right, back to Comic-Con briefly. There was some few other things, and lots of news came out Comic-Con. There was a new season 2 poster released, a special edition poster, just like we got last year, and it's created by Tim Bradstreet, who apparently is a comic artist. He's not like a movie poster guy, although I'm not familiar with his other work. And just quickly, I think I liked it more than last year, although I still wouldn't hang on my wall, right? Because it would frighten my children. Seriously. Did you guys see the poster?
I did. That was meh.
What do you think compared to last year?
Meh. Last year's poster was done as well.
So last year was too symmetrical for me for some reason. It was like kind of following zombies right at the front, and there was one at the front. And these special poster always feature the zombies, not the human characters. So this one I liked better because it was less symmetrical and it factored in a little bit more stuff. I just I would I get a copy, but I don't think they put it up because my wife wouldn't let me. Right. But if you're interested, it's out there, and I'm sure they'll be selling them at some point. Or if you're at Comic-Con, you get them to Comic-Con, which is fun too. So okay, the other thing announced at Comic-Con, there's going to be a book called The Walking Dead Chronicles, the official companion book. Apparently it is a one of a kind behind-the-scenes guide focusing on both making season 1 and the creation of the best-selling comic book, which inspired it. New book for everyone to grab. I think that'll be fun to have, and that's released every year, so you'll have to rebuy it, of course, which works for them. They are going to have some Halloween costumes from Ruby's Costumes, and the text I've gotten has Ruby had a large assortment of The Walking Dead themed prosthetics, masks, teeth, and costumes for Halloween. Many of which will be on view at their booth, which you can see through there. Fans can pursue such outfits as Little Zombie Girl, or Little Girl Zombie, complete with robe, hat, shirt, shorts, and slippers, and there's a few others. Grimes, which includes hat, shirt, belt, and pants, and assortment of other masks and makeup tools. Those will be available this fall. So if anyone wants to go Walking Dead character for zombie for Halloween, this is your opportunity.
Dave, you gonna go zombie girl?
No. I think I may go shower.
How do you do that exactly?
That'd be a tricky one.
I just want to say it again.
Well, I'll be there to take a video. Finally, Walking Dead Busts released by the National Entertainment Collectibles Association. They will release the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 6.5-inch deer-eating zombie mini bust. It really is.
That's a mouthful.
Is that the official title of it?
I think so. Exclusive 6.5-inch deer-eating zombie mini bust. Only 1,200 will be made, and they come with a certificate of authenticity. There's a few others too, Tank Zombie and Bicycle Girl Zombie. So Melissa, who we had on the show many months ago, will have her own zombie bust that you can purchase and own, display proudly in your house if you'd like. So all those things are going to be available at some point in the fall, I believe, before season 2 premieres, and you can spend your $100 on most of them, I would think. All right, so there's 2 more news items before we get to our spotlight on Jon Bernthal. We've got a Walking Dead double dip about to happen this fall. Season 1 of The Walking Dead will be released on DVD and Blu-ray in a 3-disc special edition. There is a lot of new stuff on it, but they are releasing it for us to rebuy. Do all three of us own Walking Dead on DVD? I know you.
On Blu-ray.
It's on Blu-ray.
All right, so we all own it.
My French, I call bullshit.
For the release, let's tell us how you really feel.
Fucking pissed.
There goes our PG-13.
Now we got it. You're allowed one F1 in PG-13.
All right.
You can run it for me if you like, but I'm so annoyed by this.
Are you going to buy it?
No.
Are you going to buy it, Jason?
Probably not.
Are we going to buy it?
There's a lot of additional features and special features and audio commentaries.
I'm not much of an audio commentary kind of guy.
The pilot episode is available in black and white.
They can turn your TV to black and white. Sorry, I cut Dave off.
Say that again, Dave?
Wait, what was they were going to do in black and white? They didn't say they were going to be releasing something down the road. They tricked us into buying it right away.
Wait a minute. I don't think they said they weren't going to do black and white. They said I didn't say they might either. I think the question was kind of dodged or it was ever brought up at all. But no, I can see your point. I can see how you feel. It sucks that this happens. And it
Had
happens.
I known, I would have waited for a full version like this. I mean, it sounds like an amazing version, but you know what? I already bought it. I already went. Why am I on that?
Yep. Now that's true. I must admit I will probably get it because I would like to see the additional stuff and potentially talk about it here if it's worth it. Excellent. So I can always
That works for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get on Blu-ray.
Well, you know what? I might.
You on Blu-ray player.
I might get one just for this. I may know beautiful, but and you guys know how I stand on Blu-ray. I may cave just for this. I don't know
You
why.
should cave because your opinion on Blu-ray is incorrect.
If you want to get a good Blu-ray player, you should just get a PlayStation.
I'm not gonna do that. That's like 4 times as much as a regular Blu-ray player. And my opinion's not incorrect. Sorry, it's not wrong either. I just think Blu-ray is unnecessary.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well, having HDTV is unnecessary.
That's not true at all.
And you don't need HDTV.
Sure I do.
For what?
HD content,
Which is also Blu-ray.
which is Blu-ray true. I just don't think Blu-ray is a format that's going to last that long. I don't want to start buying everything Blu-ray just to have it
You
like
don't buy Blu-ray. Blu-ray is so cheap, it doesn't matter. And plus, you can buy Blu-ray cheap now anyway.
That's not the point. The price isn't the point. The point is that it's a format that is good, admittedly, but it's unnecessary. We're moving on to what the next thing already, which is
All your DVDs.
I have.
All of them.
Well, I sold them. I packed them away and ripped them off the digital.
Every single all my DVDs are in storage. I don't need them
No, I
anymore.
don't need mine anymore. I moved past DVD a long time ago, and I'm not. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I'd rather just store them. But their DVDs are necessary, and Blu-ray, admittedly, is a big step. It's a good step, and there's quality there. But I don't think
DVDs
it's
on this.
what I might. I haven't watched a DVD on my DVD player in almost 2 years. I don't think,
So you might as well get a Blu-ray player.
and not use it either. That's my point.
Well, because then you watch DVDs on it.
That's true.
Okay, there you go. I'm gonna quickly run down some of the additional features on this release. As I mentioned, black and white version of Pilot, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Audio commentaries on all 6 episodes. Something called We Are the Walking Dead. Probably a feature on the extras.
They're all singing like, we are the world.
Come on. All right.
We are the Walking Dead.
Thank you,
Perfect.
We are the dead. We keep on shambling towards the future. There you go.
You didn't fit in golden shower there,
We're gonna go in the shower.
so there's also something called Bring Out the Dead, which is
Well, you fight us,
which is, I guess, obviously. The visual effects of Walking Dead, digital. The visual effects of Walking Dead, no more room in hell, Walking Dead phenomenon. So that's, how successful it was. They don't do their own horn. And then some other stuff, Adapting the Dead and Killer Conversations, Frank Darabont and Greg Nicotero. The old features from the previous release are still there, so you can watch those again if you like. And
Let's get the unfinished version.
Yeah, you can buy it twice if you really
that's right, you can buy them one more time. And then extra footage includes Zombie School, Bicycle Girl, On-Set with Robert Kirk and Hank, Steven, Inside Dale's RV, and On-Set with Henry Lincoln, all the stuff that has been previously released online. So as I read that, I'm less excited about buying it.
Well, the commentaries are the real thing that you'd be remotely interested in.
What about this, guys? It will be released on October 4th, and there will be 3 versions: the DVD, Blu-ray, and a special edition Blu-ray.
Oh, come on.
In a metal tin, which contains an exclusive wearable zombie mask from NECA, which is the National Entertainment whatever association that is releasing the bust. Designed by the series maker artist Greg Nicotero, the first 100,000 units of the Blu-ray and limited collectors together includes an exclusive Cryptozoic The Walking Dead trading card.
So basically, the wearable mask is a printed piece of paper with an elastic band and the eye cut.
Well, it's gotta be better than that.
No, I don't think it does.
It's made out of tape.
It better be made of rubber.
No, you connect two of the Blu-rays together, use the holes for the eyes, and you staple in the elastic band and wear it on your head. Wearable mask. You are Blu-ray.
I do recall that when they released The Dark Knight, there was a wearable mask in special editions of The Dark Knight.
Are you sure it was a wearable mask? Because I recall a Dark
I
Knight.
think your father was wearable.
Okay, yeah. I recall a case for the Dark Knight Blu-ray or DVD that was shaped like Batman's mask. I'm not sure it was wearable though. But I don't know.
Everything's wearable. If you take it up, you can wear it.
If you try hard enough, right?
The Golden Shower is wearable.
You need elastic bands. That's the trick. Lots of elastic bands and maybe some duct tape.
Elastic bands are wearable.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they know nothing about elastic bands.
I have elastic band shirt.
That's how many elastic bands is that, Dave?
Just one.
Yeah, me too. It's a really thick one. Okay, there's a couple more items of news before we move on. Greg Nicotero. I don't think the guy needs to ever sleep. He's going to be even busier because he has been tapped to direct some Walking Dead webisodes. There will be six of them, which premiere this fall. They're going to be shooting next month, and apparently they will follow a character called Hannah and her children to take shelter in her ex-husband's house from a horde of zombies. So these might be interesting.
Hannah and her husband's house from a horde of zombies.
Yes, the alliteration is
Well,
Horrible.
horrible. So, anyways, Walking Dead webisodes. A lot of shows do this. I know True Blood's done it and lost it. Battlestar Galactica, that's right. So, are we excited? I'm excited about this. It'll be nice to see a different character, right? That probably will never be on the show proper. Right. You guys so? All right.
I'm moderately excited about this.
I'm very excited. I look forward to that content.
I've never been much of a webisode kind of guy. I watched it for Battlestar Galactica, but only after it was compiled into one thing that I just play on.
Yeah, it worked better that way, but I'll probably watch these as they're released. But yeah, Greg Nicotero, he's directed a little bit in the past, but not much. But I think what he has done has been able to quite good, so we'll see. It'll be fun in the fall. And finally, this week in the news, season 2, episode 1 is titled. The title is called Miles Behind Us.
Have you met Miles yet?
No, I think he's going to be introduced at the beginning of that episode though.
He's going to be behind him.
And he'll just be kind of following behind him and
He's a sneaky son of a bitch.
hey guys, wait up.
Miles behind it again.
Nobody turn around, but I think he's back there.
Yeah, he's going to be behind him.
Joke. Oh man, if he's constantly just a guy hanging around behind him for the whole season, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But what it really means is Miles Behind Us, the same name as the second trade paperback of the comic, correct?
Sure.
Sure, we've all read it. It's the second one.
I don't remember the titles exactly.
All right, well, Miles Behind Us, they get on the road
Sounds
and
familiar.
they put some miles
Yeah, we're on the road.
So, interesting notes, Lauren Cohen and Scott Wilson, who play Maggie and Herschel, are listed on the IMDb cast list for this episode.
Cool.
I don't think we're going to see Herschel and Maggie in the first episode of season 2.
No, I don't think maybe right at the end.
That's a lot to get. So you think in the first episode, which we don't know if it's going to be an hour and a half or not yet, maybe. In the first hour and a half, we're going to leave the CC, go through the thing on the highway, go through the highway, get into the forest, have Carl get shot, and then run to the farm there standing.
Maybe Carl gets shot.
And he falls asleep.
Bitten,
I
falls
was
asleep.
saying maybe he gets hurt in the herd.
Okay.
Somehow.
So maybe he just hurt, and then they run right to the farm. Like,
I think that might be that scene where Rachel and Carl and running towards Herschel's farm and see Maggie and Herschel. I think that might be the closing moments of the first episode.
okay, so what are the rest of the stuff in the church and the?
Well, I'm sure that's all from the rest, but that makes all from the
It's not even the first episode.
I realize that. That's what I'm asking you. You don't think that's first episode stuff?
No.
No. All right. Not necessarily. The church might be on Herschel's farm. Or near it. I don't know if it's good to be
That's
near
where
it.
Miles catches up.
Right, and then they kill him in the church and no more Miles.
That's right.
Miles
Never
is
gold about it.
Miles is really behind us now. Yeah, so I'm still a lot to find out, but it was a huge news week. Mostly because of Comic-Con. You know what? There was other news from the con. There was the booth to talk about and a few other things, which I think we'll probably cover over time a little bit in future podcasts. There's a number of interviews and so on from Comic-Con as well, which have the odd tidbit in them, which you mentioned. We'll get that in future episodes. So that is the news for this
Episode.
future. So coming up next after a short break is our spotlight on John Bernthal. Dave, I think you're going to drop off now since you want to watch the stuff. You're going to drop off and go have a golden shower probably.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to do something like that.
Thanks for coming on, dude, and talking about
Thanks for having
Stranger.
me on and talking about me.
Very good. Ryan, everyone, where they can find it?
You can find it at iHeartUnicorns2.com, and there's a page on Facebook that you can like to see all the actually. Well, that's right. I started a Tumblr page because I kind of like it. Not feeds directly to the Facebook page where I put all the sketches, etc. that I'm doing, support material, supplemental material, if you will. So that's what's there.
What you're saying is it's all interconnected.
It's all interconnected, kind of like us.
That's right, kind
All
of like us.
interconnected. Hey, speaking of meeting at Fan Expo Alley, I just remembered that there's going to be a Walking Dead connection at Fan Expo this year. 20 more. There's an artist of the Walking Dead is going to be at Fan Expo.
He did the first 6 issues, I believe.
So you can stop by and see him and say hello.
Great.
I like your drawings.
What happened to somebody sick? What the hell? Yeah.
Oh, he's been doing a lot of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's cool. Yeah, I forgot about that. I got the email that he was coming to the show, so we may have to go and say hi to him and ask him some questions. We'll see. All right, that's awesome. Thanks again, Dave. Everyone go check out Stranger. After the break, it's our extra spotlight on John Bernthal. Don't go anywhere.
I know nothing's up, pretend I know my thoughts can't live without them.
For you, the listeners of the Talking Dead podcast, Audible is offering a free audio download of a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. Jason, what's your recommendation for everybody this week?
Everybody. So all you bunnies that want to join Audible and have your bunny ears tickled with audio loveliness, I'm going to recommend Shadow Divers by Robert Kurson. It's a true story of two Americans who risked everything to solve one of the last mysteries of World War II. So in 1991, these divers discovered a German U-boat complete with 60 crew not too far off the New Jersey shore. They have no idea what boat this is, how it got there, what it was doing, how it sank, all that kind of stuff. And they spent the next 6 years searching the wreck and researching and trying to find out U-boats that were sent to this area, what it was doing, who could have sunk it, why the boat had sunk. 3 divers died during those 6 years trying to explore the wreck. It was a really good book. I listened to it probably a year and a half ago. It was really compelling, and it makes me want to not go scuba diving, especially at the depths that this thing is extremely dangerous. And they talk very clearly about what the dangers are, and then selling out by having the diver die. My father and son team died.
Oh, that's not nice.
When
wow, that's pretty cool.
True story. Shadow Divers by Robert Kurson. 15 hours, 31 minutes. It was
very cool. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/talkingdead. Again, that's audibletrial.com/talkingdead for your free audiobook. And we are back. Thanks, everybody. This is Talking Dead number 50, and it's time for our actor spotlight on Jon Bernthal, who plays Shane on The Walking Dead. Of course, the controversial character of Shane, I would say.
The controversial character?
Well, just based on the fact that he's still alive.
Well, for now,
you're right. That's why he's controversial now, but you never know what happens in season 2.
They'll sort that living dead thing out.
I'm sure they will. There's lots of time to figure that out.
They can shoot at any time.
You never know. He could get eaten, shot, run over by a car, he could anything.
He fall over a tree.
Climb a tree, fall
and die.
Never know. It would be totally lame. You never know. So, as everyone who's been listening knows, on our actor spotlights here, we choose one of the actors on The Walking Dead and go back and watch some of their previous work to see how they've done, see how they've developed as an actor and stuff like that. So, we want to talk about first here with Jon Bernthal.
Day Zero.
Day Zero. This is a movie from 2007. It stars Elijah Wood, Chris Klein, Elizabeth Moss, who you recognize from Mad Men,
and West Wing.
Okay, haven't seen it for sure. And Jon Bernthal as Dixon. Here's the summary from the IMDb. The military draft is back. 3 best friends are drafted and given 30 days to report for duty. In that time, they're forced to confront everything they believe about courage, duty, love, friendship, and honor. Right, duty. There you go.
I don't believe a word of that summary.
Why not?
Well, they're not best friends. They have almost nothing in common. Anyway,
well, I think they are best friends. I got the feeling that they were.
No.
I mean, people sort of fade in and out of touch sometimes throughout their life. There might have been a period of time when these guys didn't hang out all that much. But I did get the feeling they were friends in the movie. Chris Klein, Andrew Jon Bernthal, and Elijah Wood.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling that they've known each other for a long time, but their lives are so different from each other that I really don't see them having anything to do with each other on a regular basis like they do, other than they've been drafted.
Well, that's something I noticed too. That these 3 guys are 3 very stereotypical characters, right? Each one of them really embodies a certain lifestyle, mentality, and sort of feeling specifically towards war and being drafted, right? Elijah, Chris Klein is the lawyer. He's got a wife, they have a family man, really dedicated to his family, his job, rich parents, exactly. Jon Bernthal is a taxi driver, doesn't know his parents, kind of made it on his own, sort of thing. And Elijah Wood is in between those, doesn't really have a family,
doesn't have a job,
he's a loser, a bit of a loser, and a bit of a hippie too, I sort of felt, to a certain extent. So 3 really different, distinct characters in that respect. There wasn't too much depth to any of them.
No, they're cardboard. I would put this cardboard character.
Total cardboard?
Yeah, I don't feel this movie focused on any one event or character for very long, so it was really hard to care about these people because it would just give you a little bit snippet of what was going on in life and jump to the next character, the next situation, and it jumped around so much that and they were so distinct. Like there was a fight where Jon Bernthal got into a fight with Chris Klein at Chris Klein's house and at a dinner party for crying out loud. And the next scene, they're hanging out at a bar and nobody mentions it. Like doesn't even come up. It's not even a situation.
Well, no, they mentioned it after. There was definitely some tension, but that died quickly, right?
Yeah, they just forgot about it.
Well,
it's a big ugly thing where these guys have this big argument and it's just the next scene. Really not an issue.
I see your point, but I think that was sort of, I think the idea there was that the sort of overall shared experience that these guys are supposed to be having about being drafted kind of put that, it changed quickly because it put that to the background. They only had 30 days to come to grips with what they were about to go through. Right. I thought the movie was okay. Really? Yeah, I actually did think it was okay. I thought each character had a journey. They started and they finished somewhere else, and they each character kind of learned something about themselves. And despite the sort of cookie cutter nature of those 3 guys, right, I didn't mind it. I think they each learned something.
I thought this whole movie was torture.
Really?
I thought it was just flat and uninspiring. I didn't care about anybody. Didn't care what happened. I would turn it off. And I don't do that very often for movies. I would turn it off if I hadn't been watching it for this podcast.
Interesting. I didn't get that feeling at all myself. I mean, I didn't love the film, but I thought there was something there to latch onto for sure. Jon Bernthal specifically in this movie, he was terrible.
No, I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a better job than Elijah Wood and Chris Klein. I thought he plays that kind of character, that kind of rough and tumble kind of character rather well. I like that about him. So I thought he did a good job. His hair was a little long. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's his hair, really.
That kind of goes towards his kind of rough and tumble, society damn kind of thing.
He's not a haircut kind of guy.
No, well, once he gets enlisted, once he actually reports for duty, he's gonna be a haircut kind of guy. But for now, no, driving cat, doesn't need a haircut.
No, he doesn't at all. I agree with you there. I think he was the best of the 3. And interestingly, he's at least at this time, at least one of the 3. Probably still, actually. Probably still. And I think he did a nice job. Elijah Wood was okay, and Chris Klein I thought was probably worse.
Well, yeah, Elijah Wood, he played a kind of loser, which is good because I think he does that well.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good casting on the part of Elijah Wood, other than Sin City. I like this role for him more than a lot of roles I've seen him in. Except Sin City, I thought it was great in Sin City.
Didn't have a line.
Yeah, perfect. It's perfect for him. Works for him. I didn't like him Fro for crying out loud.
He was alright as Fro.
No, he was a wuss. Fro was not a wuss. He wasn't dead. No, Fro was not a wuss.
Okay, well, that's beside the point. I think he was okay here, not spectacular. I thought Chris Klein was pretty poor.
He's always pretty poor.
Well, I suppose, yeah. I can't really think of too much else. I've seen him, I have. Off the top of my head anyway. Elizabeth Moss was alright.
She was strong too.
Yeah, she's always strong. This is the only other thing I've seen her besides Mad Men.
I like more from West Wing.
Yeah, so she was good. And I liked what she did for Jon Bernthal's character. I mean, you gotta admit, out of the 3 of them, he probably had the most interesting storyline, didn't he? He falls in love with this girl, and he goes from being an absolute 100% supporter of being drafted and going to fight for your country because it's what you do, and like Steve Rogers said, he doesn't have the right to do anything less from Captain America. And he goes from that to kind of doubting his own feelings because he now suddenly has something else at home which he didn't have before. I thought that worked out well for him. Let's just really quickly talk about the end of the movie. So if anyone is really upset about being spoiled for the end of Day Zero, I'm going to get a little bit. But what happens is 3 of them are together in a coffee shop the night or the day before. They're supposed to report for duty at 9 a.m. And Elijah Wood at this point has gone kind of off the deep end, shaved his head, got a giant tattoo on his skull, and he doesn't know what's going on. And he tells them 7 a.m. at Penn Station and then leaves. And am I correct in saying the feeling is that at least for the audience and for the 2 other characters that we're running away, we're going to Penn Station 7 a.m. we're going to try and leave? Or at least that's what Elijah Wood was going to do?
No, isn't that where they're supposed to report for duty? Get on a train and go someplace?
That's a good point. I'm not sure. See, I thought he was saying Penn Station. I'm going to draft dog basically.
Oh, I thought that's what they were going to meet there and report for duty together.
Anyways, what ultimately happens is that Elijah Wood jumps off the building, kills himself.
Yes, he does.
He can't take it. Now, did he jump off Penn Station 7 a.m.? I think that might be.
No, because he ended up in a pile of junk.
I thought it was destroyed cars.
No, I think it was a junkyard of some kind. Because there was things sticking out of his body and there was a motorcycle piece sticking around. I thought he jumped into a junkyard.
Interesting. Well, my take on it was that he was telling them 7 a.m. Penn Station, we're going to draft dodge. But what he was really saying is, no, I'm going to be here, I'm going to jump off the roof. Right. And I think that's what happened. And then what we see is Chris Klein show up at the train station. And I think see his body, doesn't he? Isn't that where I think he realizes what's happened. And that's why I figured that out. And anyways, then Jon Bernthal shows up too. They kind of see each other across the street and the movie ends. So
well, I think Jon Bernthal, the take I got from was Jon Bernthal was the only one who actually did reporting for duty because Chris Klein's dad got out of it.
Yeah, he did apparently get out of it. But even his attitude changed a little bit. Chris Klein, I think, once his dad originally said, no, I can't do it, do it. And then at the 11th hour said, yeah, you're good, you don't have to go. I think even then he already prepared himself for going to war.
Yeah, he's going to go.
No,
I guess Jon Bernthal was the only one who reported for duty.
All right, out of the 3 of them. So he left his lead behind. Yeah, so you gotta do. All right, so the movie you hated, it was okay, and I thought Jon Bernthal was certainly the most interesting character of all.
Oh yeah, his relationship with Elizabeth Moss, I think that those two actors were the best thing in the whole film.
The first thing I noticed watching this, it wasn't the first thing of the first work I watched for a little marathon here on Jon Bernthal, but the first thing I noticed when watching this is right off the bat he's got like Shane face on. Yeah, he kind of delivers the same facial expression in a lot of the stuff he does, which is fine. It's very good. So we also watched some TV episodes. Jason
Eastwick, starring Rebecca Romaine, Paul Gross, Canadian, Lindsay Price, Jenny Ray Newman, and Jon Bernthal as Raymond Gardner, Lindsay Price's husband, deadbeat husband. Yep. And the summary is a mysterious man bestows unique powers on 3 women. If you've seen Witches of Eastwick, this is a movie or TV show based on that.
I have seen Witches of Eastwick with Jack Nicholson many years ago, so I remember nothing.
And Cher.
Plot points. And Cher, that's right. I remember nothing really, other than those two were in it. And that was it. I remember
Mysterious man shows up and bestows powers on 3 women.
Yeah, okay. I read that summary from
Witches of Eastwick too.
and that was it. Same thing. There you go. Before I read that, I couldn't have told you that. So I just remember Jack Nicholson was kind of goofy.
Well, that's not goofy, but so is Paul Gross.
Paul Gross, he's a goofy, rich guy. So Jon Bernthal plays the husband. I feel like I may have wrote down this incorrectly. I think he may be Jenny Ray Newman's husband, not Lindsay Price's.
I don't know from whoever.
Doesn't matter. He plays one of her husbands that's not Rebecca Romaine, and he's a total douchebag.
Oh yeah,
as a husband.
and he does well.
Completely, and he does well. He wants to watch first two. Yeah. We were gonna watch the last one, but it turns out
He got fired, but he's in charge of Wix at the Candle Factory.
that's a great job, man.
Eastwick, and he's in charge of Wix.
Yes, he is.
Eastwick. That's perfect.
He did that job. I don't know. It's probably a really good job, but you get
I
fired.
want to work at a Candle Factory and be in charge of Wix.
Exactly.
This is Wix and Wax.
Wix and Wax. He also is in charge of Wax, probably. Yeah, from Wick. I guess they manufacture them separately and then put them together with the candles.
Well, they dip them into the candle wick and they dip it into wax and they keep it in wax and make it thicker and thicker. Really thick candles.
They need to do an episode of how they make it on candles.
Well, they did.
Oh, see?
How it's made.
How it's made. See, I had a feeling you might
I love that show.
So Jon Bernthal plays a douchebag husband. Gets fired from his job, kind of deadbeat, drinks a lot, doesn't seem to be all that interested in his 4 children that he has with his wife.
He threatens to be his wife, but I don't think he does in 2 episodes.
No, we don't see that in these 2 episodes. And I don't think he's the kind of guy that would. He's not that kind of
No, he said real close to hitting or smacking you at one point.
That doesn't matter. I don't think he's the kind of, even though he's a dick, I don't think he's the kind of guy that would take that next step.
Anyway,
Well, then you go watch the rest of the show and find
well, I
out.
never watched the show when it first aired. Jenny and I watched the first 2 episodes. So I've seen it before.
All right, you can go all the way through?
No, we got bored. It's just like, come on, the show's not going anywhere. Nothing happens. It's kind of stupid.
And then I canceled
everybody else agreed with this.
There you go. So Jon Bernthal in this was kind of nothing special. He was okay.
He was alright. He did the role well.
Yeah.
His hair was a little shorter.
Yes, it was. And then what happens when he gets, she electrocutes him, right?
She kind of hurts him a lot. She calls down lightning and
but doesn't realize because she doesn't understand her powers.
well, yeah, she's a nature power person. She controls nature. She can grow giant pumpkins, good tomatoes. She can cause an earthquake and knock him out of his hammock. She calls down lightning to strike him down.
Knock him out of his hammock. That's fun.
What is the earth at the moon? Or if you get out of the hammock, and then you're shaking, falls in the hammock.
Yes, he does. So she hits him with lightning, goes to the hospital. He seems to have kind of an attitude adjustment after that. He comes to the hospital saying, "Oh, I really love you, everything's fine. All the kids are great, and everything."
Don't bring lightning.
Don't do lightning doesn't anymore. At least not first. Maybe he does later. I forget.
He gets his job back.
That's right.
As he's in charge of Wix and something else except for dealers.
So except for those are completely
They're a whole different Wick dude.
They make those in the home office somewhere else. I don't know. That's funny. So he kind of gets his life turned around. It sounds like.
Well, I never 2 episodes. I'm not sure if it's later or afterwards.
Then again, once a douchebag always a douchebag.
Yeah, the show would be boring if the husband turns around to be a great guy.
Yeah, that's true. Why start as such a bad guy and then change right away? Yeah. The show itself, it didn't do much for me, and I wasn't really interested in watching anymore. But I don't know, just to see John, maybe I'll check it out more. I understand yourself. The quality of the one I watched was not amazing, so we will see. So that's it. We watched those 2 episodes, the pilot and Reaping and Sowing, which is the second episode. Finally, The Ghostwriter, the 2010 movie starring Ewan McGregor, Kim Cattrall, Olivia Williams, and Jon Bernthal as Rick Riccardelli.
Well, Pierce Brosnan.
And Pierce Brosnan. That's true.
Brosnan.
Yes, he plays the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and he is getting into some trouble, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. But Jon Bernthal plays Ewan McGregor's agent. He's got some screen time at the beginning, and at the end, he does show up right at the end. And then there's a long section in the middle where he's not in the film at all.
Yeah, where plot happens and dialogue and various things.
The movie really is Ewan McGregor's, more than anybody else. Jon Bernthal's on the phone a couple of times, I think, in the movie when Ewan calls his agent to say, "What the hell you got me into here?"
So yeah, I watched this when it first came out. It's been probably 6 months, 8 months since I've seen this. Gene and I watched it just because I like Ewan McGregor and we just wanted to watch that. And you know Jon Bernthal first. Didn't know who he was really at the time, so it was well before October, or maybe last year. Jeez, didn't know who he was, didn't care. Watched the whole movie, kind of liked it. Thought it was okay. And I rewatched the beginning because I knew he was at the beginning, so I rewatched the beginning today just to refresh my memory of what Jon Bernthal did. And I thought he did a good job.
He did a good
Where the hell did that suit look like that?
Well, he sure does look good in the suit, which is important. That's part of the character.
I thought he did a really good job as this character. Non-douchebag.
Wait a minute, a little bit of douchebag. He's a bit of a douchebag.
He's a writer's agent. I didn't really get douchebag vibe from him. I got a kind of a salesman vibe from him, but all salesmen are douchebags.
That's true.
All agents are douchebags either.
There you go. You're right. He did okay in his limited screen time. He basically opens the movie with Ewan McGregor talking about this job opportunity to go and write the memoirs for the former British Prime Minister. And then they go into the publishing company office. And who's the guy? Jim Belushi. Bald Jim Belushi. And there's a scene, or there's a very short shot basically in there. After they kind of had their discussion, Ewan McGregor's on board, and they're all standing up and to leave. And I think Ewan McGregor is talking with one of the other characters in there.
Yeah, the editor.
The editor brings him in, right? Yeah. And Jon Bernthal's in the background talking to Belushi, right? It's just one shot. I thought that background was really good.
Really? I don't know what it was. I didn't notice the background.
They were leaning on a shelf with books and stuff, and they were having a conversation. But in the foreground is what's really happening. Ewan McGregor talking to the other guy, and Jon Bernthal and Belushi are back there, and they're just doing their character pieces and stuff. And I was trying to keep my eyes on Bernthal because that's what we're supposed to be watching. And maybe I wouldn't even notice otherwise, but he works as a great extra. In that one shot.
Good for him. Good for him. Some extra work.
Yeah, maybe he can. I'm not sure he's going for that, but maybe. So yeah, short. Small role in the Ghostwriter.
Did you like the movie overall?
I did.
Watch the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
It's a whodunit, right? It's basically a mystery that has to be solved, and Ewan McGregor's going through the stages of solving the mystery. That's right up Jenny and my alley, right? We like that movie. We like murder mysteries. So I thought it was okay, but I know you feel differently about those kind of things. So I wanted to see if you actually like this movie.
No, I liked it. I thought it was sort of well put together. I like the concept of it. I like the location, that island off of Cape Cod or something like that, where they are.
New England somewhere.
And who's the guy that? Tom Wilkinson is in this movie. I really like him.
Who's that again?
So Ewan McGregor takes the car out that's owned by the Prime Minister that he gives to guests, and he turns on the GPS and it has the last route coordinates programmed into it from his predecessor who showed up dead in the ocean. Right. So he thinks, well, I'll just drive here and see where he's going. So he follows it and takes him to this guy's house, who is old co-worker, I guess, of the Prime Minister's long before the Prime Minister. And that's Tom Wilkinson. I really like that guy. He did a nice job in this movie too. But yeah, it's sort of a depressing scenery, always rainy, and it was New England in the early spring or late winter, and yeah, it was sort of moody, but I think it fit the tone.
It was very moody, very filled with tone, filled with a lot of ambience.
Right, but in a good way. So I did enjoy the movie. If I had been maybe a little more invested in it, maybe I could have seen the ending coming. But as it stands, I didn't see it coming at all. And I do think as I said before, the most important thing for murder mystery is when you do find out who done it at the end. If you go back and think about it, you should be able to figure that out throughout the film if you're sort of thinking about it, paying attention. The best ones like that, anyways. I think this movie had that.
Yeah, Jenny figures stuff like right away. Like she's really good at TV movies. She's murder mysteries, just like a lot of times, especially in Law & Order, there's a formula to it, right? Whoever the most famous guest star is, it's just the way it is. So as soon as they get screen time, Chevy Chase guilty. No, Chevy Chase. He's on them, so he's really good.
Okay, good job.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Perfect. I was gonna say the secret to finding out sort of the end of this movie was there all along, right? I think, or at least the method for finding it, I think, was there all along, and it would have been possible to figure it out, even though I can't say that.
I still gotta think about this kind of thing. I just let things go and let them tell me the story. So I can figure it out.
Right. Well, that's okay. That's a good way of experiencing movie too. Sometimes. So there we have it. Jon Bernthal, changed from The Walking Dead. His past work, what we did in our hands on, anyways. Yeah, can be a little difficult. Speaking of difficult, our next Walking Dead actor spotlight is going to be with Stephen Yeun Glenn, who plays Glenn. Now looking through Stephen's IMDb page, there's a couple of video games on there, neither of which we have the time or access to play.
Or technology.
Or technology, yes. Priceless, right? Yeah, PC only game. Yeah. Okay, so that's not gonna happen. He's got a number of shorts, they call shorts or short films, I guess.
I'm wearing shorts right now.
Thanks. Stephen Yeun's not even just me. Good. He was the boss. Yeah. So that stuff is hard to come by. We tried, but couldn't find it. One of them has a nice fancy website, but all there is a trailer we've already watched, and I guess we can talk about it briefly next time. But sure. but we're not going to be able to see the whole thing. So what we are going to be watching, yes, we are, is his one episode of Big Bang Theory. That's season 3, episode 22, called The Staircase Implementation.
Oh.
I don't know if he has a huge role or a tiny one scene role. We'll find out.
I've seen all the episodes of that show, and I don't remember seeing an episode, so I'm going to watch it again.
How many seasons are there? 4. So this is only from one season ago. So when did you watch this? Was it pre-Walking Dead, after Walking Dead?
After Walking Dead.
Interesting. I still didn't notice him. Interesting. So he might not be there at all, but we're going to watch it and find out.
I started watching the show, The Big Bang Theory, until after Christmas. I remember there being a Boxing Day. It was a Big Bang Theory marathon. I remember watching a lot of it at that point, going, hey, I should pick up all the episodes and all the seasons and watch them.
Okay.
So this would have been after Christmas, so I watched this episode. I wonder why I didn't recognize it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking maybe he may have a very small part.
Right.
And maybe he's starting the episode 2. Maybe, sorry. We'll find out. We'll find out. That's watch back later, I think. The other thing we're going to watch is Law & Order Los Angeles, season 1, episode 15, called Hayden Tract.
Hayden Tract.
He's in that. And unfortunately, that's it, because we can't really get our hands on anything else. So
both of which are available on iTunes.
Yes, they are. Which makes it easy. It does. If some of the short films are there on Netflix or anywhere else on the internet, you have to watch those. But we can't. If in the next couple weeks we can come across it somehow, then we'll add it to the list.
Sure.
But for now, it's Big Bang Theory and Law & Order Los Angeles. Exciting stuff. Huh? Okay.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I watched some episodes of Law & Order Los Angeles. Wasn't too impressed. Jimmy and I started watching it. We're Law & Order fans. So we watched the first few episodes of that show. It's like,
So, again,
let's have Doc Ock in it. In that show.
Well, that's cool. You have probably seen. You probably saw Stephen and didn't realize it was him either.
Oh, I didn't watch episode 15.
Okay.
We only watched it for 2 or 3. All right, and then it canceled and didn't watch it anymore.
Is it actually
canceled? It's on season 2 now.
Okay.
But it just canceled in our household.
There you go.
Canceled. That's right.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of The Talking Dead. It's number 50, which is absolutely incredible. We've been doing this for so long. We're going to have a few more before the show is back on the air on October 16th.
I rarely do 50 of anything.
True. Seriously.
Let alone 50 episodes of this podcast.
Well, feel good in the fact that you committed yourself and followed through on your dedication.
Yeah, I won this one. Did I did one where I wasn't available.
I don't remember. It's 50. I'm supposed to remember all of them. A big thanks to our sponsor, Audible. If you want to get a free audiobook and a free 15-day trial, go to audibletrial.com/talkingdead and sign up there. And big thanks for Dave for coming on the show this week, too. If you want to go check out his zombie webcomic Stranger, go to iHeartUnicorns2.com or stranger.reader.com. He's working on the second issue right now. Wow. He's going to be at the Toronto Fan. What's it called? Toronto Fan Expo. There you go. If you want to get in contact with